the RMS Titanic, a name synonymous with both grandeur and disaster. In the early 20th century, she was more than just a ship. She was a marvel of engineering, a floating palace, a testament to human ambition. The largest moving object ever built at the time, the Titanic embodied the spirit of progress. Passengers from all walks of life flocked to her decks, eager to be part of this maiden voyage. Millionaires rubbed shoulders with immigrants, each dreaming of a brighter future across the Atlantic. The atmosphere on board was electric, a mixture of excitement and anticipation. The Titanic was not just carrying people, it was carrying hopes, dreams, and the promise of a new life. The ship's tragic fate continues to captivate and haunt us a century later, prompting reflection on the fragility of life and the importance of humility in the face of the unknown. Despite the air of confidence and celebration, an undercurrent of unease lingered beneath the surface. The Titanic's voyage, though groundbreaking, was not without its share of unsettling omens. From near collisions in port to a fire that smoldered in one of her coal bunkers, these incidents foreshadowed the catastrophe that lay ahead. The ship's wireless operators, overwhelmed with personal messages from wealthy passengers, failed to relay a crucial ice warning from nearby vessels. This oversight, coupled with the captain's decision to maintain a high speed through treacherous waters, would prove fatal. As the sun dipped below the horizon on April 14, 1912, the icy grip of the North Atlantic tightened. The unsinkable ship was about to meet her match in the form of a silent, deadly iceberg lurking beneath the waves. The ship of dreams quickly transformed into a scene of chaos and despair, a stark reminder of the capricious nature of fate. The Titanic has become eternally linked with the phrase unsinkable. This label, perpetuated by both the press and public perception, has solidified the tragedy as a cautionary tale of hubris and technological overconfidence. However, the truth is far more nuanced. The Titanic was never truly marketed as unsinkable. The ship was built with a series of watertight compartments intended to contain flooding in the event of a hull breach. What many failed to realize was that these compartments were not designed to withstand damage extending above a certain level. The belief in the ship's invincibility, while understandable given the technological advancements of the time, blinded many to the inherent risks associated with transatlantic travel. The Titanic's maiden voyage was, in many ways, a spectacle of luxury and extravagance. However, beneath the surface of opulence lay a critical lack of preparedness for the very real dangers lurking in the icy depths of the North Atlantic. The Titanic carried enough lifeboats for just over half of its passengers and crew. This oversight stemmed from a combination of factors, including outdated maritime regulations and a desire to maintain the ship's aesthetically pleasing lines. This misconception, coupled with a lack of comprehensive lifeboat drills and inadequate crew training, contributed to the chaos and confusion that ensued following the iceberg collision. The Titanic's sinking was an unprecedented event, and the crew tragically lacked the experience and preparedness to effectively manage such a catastrophe. The Titanic's reputation as a technological marvel, coupled with the luxurious surroundings and the excitement of the journey, created a pervasive sense of security among those on board. Passengers, lulled into a false sense of safety, were slow to react when disaster struck. This delay, while understandable given the circumstances, proved fatal for many. Even as the ship began to list and the reality of the situation dawned on those aboard, a sense of order and decorum prevailed. Many passengers, particularly those in first class, refused to believe that the ship of dreams could possibly sink. The Titanic's sinking serves as a poignant reminder that even in the face of overwhelming evidence, human beings often cling to hope and a belief in their own invincibility. As the Titanic sliced through the frigid waters of the North Atlantic, a sense of urgency pervaded the bridge. Captain Edward Smith, a seasoned mariner with decades of experience, faced a critical decision. The ship's wireless operators had relayed a series of ice warnings from other vessels in the vicinity, painting a picture of treacherous conditions ahead. Yet, the prevailing maritime cultures of the time placed a premium on speed and adherence to schedules. This pressure to maintain a tight schedule, coupled with a belief in the ship's technological superiority, likely influenced Captain Smith's decision to maintain a high speed despite the ice warnings. The Titanic's sinking serves as a stark reminder that even the most experienced and well-intentioned individuals can make fatal errors in judgment. The Titanic's speed, while impressive for its time, proved to be a double-edged sword. The ship's powerful engines, designed to propel her across the Atlantic at a record-breaking pace, also limited her maneuverability, particularly in confined waters or when faced with unexpected obstacles. The decision to maintain a high speed through an area known for icebergs further compounded the risks. The ship's speed, intended to shorten the journey and impress passengers, ultimately transformed a potentially avoidable obstacle into a catastrophic collision. The collision, while not a head-on crash, tore a series of gashes along the ship's starboard side, breaching several watertight compartments. The disaster prompted a reassessment of maritime regulations and safety protocols, highlighting the need for caution and vigilance. In the tense hours leading up to the Titanic's fateful encounter with the iceberg, a series of missed communications and misinterpretations played a crucial role in shaping the course of events. The ship's wireless operators, overwhelmed by a backlog of personal messages from wealthy passengers, failed to relay a critical ice warning from the SS Californian. This crucial oversight, coupled with the Titanic's high speed and the lack of binoculars for the lookouts, created a perfect storm of factors that increased the likelihood of a collision. Following the impact with the iceberg, communication breakdowns continued to plague the Titanic's crew as they struggled to assess the extent of the damage and organize an evacuation. The Titanic's sinking, in part, can be attributed to a failure to effectively communicate vital information at critical junctures. This tragic lesson highlighted the importance of clear communication protocols, particularly in high-stress situations. The Titanic's sinking exposed not only the technological limitations of the time, but also the stark social inequalities that permeated Edwardian society. The ship's design, while luxurious for all classes, reflected a rigid social hierarchy. This social stratification extended to the ship's evacuation procedures. While first-class passengers were closer to the lifeboat deck and enjoyed preferential treatment from the crew, those in steerage faced language barriers, unfamiliar surroundings, and locked gates that separated them from the upper decks. The statistics speak for themselves. A disproportionate number of steerage passengers, particularly women and children, perished in the disaster. The Titanic's sinking served as a stark reminder that tragedy does not discriminate, but societal structures often do. The sinking of the Titanic reverberated far beyond the icy depths of the North Atlantic. The disaster struck at a time of profound technological advancement and societal change. The Titanic, hailed as a symbol of human ingenuity and progress, became a potent metaphor for the hubris of an era on the brink of war and global upheaval. The disaster exposed the limits of technological prowess, reminding the world that even the most sophisticated machines were vulnerable to the forces of nature. The Titanic's sinking remains a pivotal event in modern history, not only for the tragic loss of life, but also for the profound impact it had on the world's psyche. Its legacy continues to resonate, urging us to learn from the past and strive for a safer, more equitable future. The night of April 14, 1912, descended upon the Titanic with a deceptive tranquility. The sea was eerily calm, a glassy expanse reflecting the star-strewn sky. Aboard the ship, passengers retired to their luxurious cabins or enjoyed the evening's festivities, unaware of the silent menace lurking in the ship's path. High above, in the crow's nest, lookouts Frederick Fleet and Reginald Lee strained their eyes against the darkness. The absence of binoculars, a seemingly trivial oversight, would have profound consequences. At 11:40 p.m., a faint shape emerged from the haze on the horizon, growing steadily larger as the Titanic steamed relentlessly towards it. "Iceberg, right ahead!" Fleet's voice pierced the silence, his warning echoing through the night. The bridge responded immediately, but the Titanic's immense size and momentum made evasive maneuvers difficult. The ship grazed the iceberg, its jagged surface tearing a series of fatal gashes along the starboard hull. The impact, while jarring, did not initially inspire panic among those on board. Many passengers, accustomed to the gentle rocking of the ship, dismissed the shudder as a minor disturbance. However, the crew, acutely aware of the potential danger, sprang into action, their faces etched with concern as they assessed the damage below deck. As the reality of the situation dawned on the passengers and crew of the Titanic, a sense of disbelief gave way to mounting fear. The ship's lights flickered ominously as icy waters poured in. Chaos reigned as crew members struggled to maintain order. Lifeboats, woefully inadequate, were lowered into the water, women and children given priority as men stepped back. Amidst the chaos, the band played on, providing calm. Wireless operators tirelessly relayed distress signals. As the Titanic's bow slipped beneath the waves, the stern rose high into the night sky. The screams of those left behind echoed across the water. The ship disappeared, leaving a legacy of heartbreak and mystery. The news of the Titanic's sinking sent shockwaves across the globe. Newspapers printed banner headlines, relaying the unbelievable tale of the unsinkable ship lost to the sea. The world mourned the loss of over 1,500 souls. The disaster prompted a wave of grief and introspection. The public grappled with the enormity of the tragedy. The Titanic's sinking became a catalyst for sweeping reforms in maritime safety regulations. The wreck of the Titanic, discovered in 1985, rekindled public fascination. The discovery served as a poignant reminder of the power of the sea. The Titanic's legacy extends far beyond maritime history. The disaster has inspired countless books, films, and documentaries. The Titanic story continues to resonate with audiences around the world. The Titanic story, often shrouded in myth and speculation, serves as a stark reminder that history is rarely black and white. The ship's sinking, while undeniably a tragedy of immense proportions, was not simply a case of hubris or technological failure. It was a complex confluence of events, a perfect storm of human error, technological limitations, and the unpredictable fury of nature. By delving beneath the surface of popular narratives, we gain a more nuanced understanding of the disaster and its lasting impact. The Titanic was not merely an unsinkable ship that met an untimely end. It was a microcosm of its time, reflecting the social, economic, and technological complexities of the early 20th century. The belief in the ship's invincibility, while fueled by technological advancements and a desire for progress, blinded many to the inherent risks associated with transatlantic travel. The lack of adequate lifeboats, a decision driven by a combination of cost-cutting measures, outdated regulations, and aesthetic considerations, proved fatal for many passengers and crew. Furthermore, the Titanic's sinking exposed the stark social inequalities of the time. The disaster revealed how class distinctions dictated access to safety and survival, with a disproportionate number of steerage passengers, many of them immigrants seeking a better life, perishing in the tragedy. Over a century after its tragic demise, the Titanic continues to captivate our imaginations, serving as a timeless reminder of the fragility of life and the importance of humility. The disaster's enduring legacy lies in the profound lessons it imparted, lessons that remain relevant even today. The Titanic's story underscores the importance of preparedness and clear communication in times of crisis. Amidst the chaos, countless acts of selflessness and bravery unfolded. Let us honor the memory of those who perished by heeding the lessons learned. If you enjoy this video, drop a comment and subscribe for more history-based videos.